This video is going to be showing you a god roll craft for one of the weapons that you can do so this season. It's going to be focusing on one particular weapon. It's going to be talking in depth about that weapon and why we would want to craft that weapon for solo endgame content and for any PVE endgame content, master difficulty, grandmaster difficulty, stuff like that. This isn't aimed at PvP, low end PvE, mid-game PvE. This is all high-end stuff. So just consider that when I'm talking about stuff, you need to realize I'm applying it towards that. I'm not looking for quick draw, not looking for like silly perks like that. I'm looking for proper perks that I need for a reliable bow. So the bow that I'm talking about is the FEL Taradiddle. It's a kinetic style combat bow. It's unique because it's a lightweight frame kinetic bow. There's only one other kinetic bow that's lightweight, which is Whisper and Slab. Now Whisper and Slab is a good bow, but it's not that good of a bow. It's like an 8 out of a 10 bow. Whereas when you get your god roll craft on this bow, this is a 10 out of 10 bow, hands down. So it's the next level of a bow. This doesn't roll with explosive head. Obviously this kinetic bow does, which is why I'm covering it. Not only that, it's very good that we can craft it so we can manipulate some stats to make it be the best of both worlds. What do I mean by that? Well, the kinetic style bows are generally precision frame. So a precision frame bow, like Biting Winds, Acure Redemption, it's optimized for damage. Look, it states longer draw time, optimized for damage. So it's a high damage bow, but it suffers with the draw time. Now, Biting Winds, you can get its draw time all the way down, lower than what this one has. I'm not here to discuss all that though, but generally you can. That's fine. But with this bow, you can obviously have the really low draw time of 540, but have a high-ish accuracy stat. See, accuracy is very important. On these bows, you can see this Acure Redemption, 83 accuracy. I'm going to go into why it's very important in a bit. But that's very good, but its draw time's obviously terrible. This bow is going to have close to a precision frame style bow for accuracy, but have the benefits of a lightweight frame bow with high handling and high low draw time. So that's why it's a very unique bow, and it's one of the best bows in the game. Not only that, it has Psycho Hack on it, which states sustained damage from this weapon lowers the target's damage output for a short duration. So what does that mean? It means when you're continually hitting a target, they will glow red to show you, the game's telling you that that enemy is doing less damage towards you. There's something happening, and it's a big deal, this, the Psycho Hack. So it's unique to this bow, to these weapons. Now, what does that sound like to you? If I just show you this, I'm going to read it. Psycho Hack is basically overload rounds. The only thing is, it doesn't overload a champion. We know that. But what does it also do? It lowers the combatant's damage. Now, if you don't believe me, I'll read it. So, overload rounds, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output. I'll read it again on this one. Right? Delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output. This works on all adds in the game. Champion, obviously champions, but it works on minors, mages, everything. Bosses. So it's basically overload, but it just doesn't have the ability to stun a champion, Psycho Hack. But that's what it's doing. It's lowering the damage from enemies towards you, and that's huge in endgame stuff. We know this. Also, put a major spec in your bow once you've crafted it, because that does your damage against champions, and that's what you want out of this bow. You want a good for damage for champs, right? Not minors, mages, and not bosses. It's major spec. So getting into the craft of this bow, I'll have to unequip it and then go into the reshapes screen, etc. But first things first, you need to get 3 red border bows, which you get from Wellspring. You need to look up the rotation of that particular day today is coming to pass. It's on a set rotation, and when your day comes up for the bow, I recommend doing that for all of them if you can, because you want to be crafting all these weapons. But when that rotation that comes up, you then craft. You then get the 3 red bows. You get the deep sight resonance from all 3. You need 3 to unlock the pattern. You then get the pattern. You then craft the bow. Craft the bow. You can start with explosive head. I'm not going to go through it all, but you can actually start with explosive head. What my point is, level that up to level 16, like you see here. Level it up to level 16, that will then unlock all enhanced perks. That's when you then can reshape. Don't reshape before that. Don't reshape each level. You're wasting mats. You're wasting valuable materials. Only reshape once. Now, here's the thing with this. You want to get it right the first time. If you mess up, you lose your mats and you redo it again. So this is why I think this video will be important to people for all the weapons that they're interested in, because then they can get an opinion on it, and they can just look at the video and, right, I'll craft this. I'm good. I can craft it like this. Especially getting the enhanced perks right. That's very important, because this is very costly. It's going to set you back 2 Ascendant Alloys, 4,000 neutral element, and a couple of smaller materials. So it's expensive. For one weapon craft, like to get your god roll, it's expensive. But it is worth it. So, explaining all this works, right? So, the first column is the lightweight frame, enhanced intrinsic. So, you've got plus 10 draw time, plus 10 handling, plus 10 stability, plus 10 reload, etc. So, I know what people are going to do with this. They're going to make the mistake and they're going to go with draw time. Don't go with draw time. You are losing stats if you do that. And I'll explain that right now by the stats. So, to make you understand, I'll go through the stats. Impact is based on the frame of the bow. So, this can't be changed. End of discussion. Accuracy. So, this is the big one. How well shots fired by this weapon hit their target. So, with the precision frame style bows, they have a higher accuracy stat. They're 80s. Some of them, depending on what roll they've got. Accuracy doesn't matter on a bow if you're 20, 30 meters in distance of fighting an ad. You're going to hit your crits. As long as you're accurate enough, like you yourself, the player, are going to hit the crits, more than likely. Once you go to 40, 50, 60 meter ranges, like you'll find that when you're fighting at those sort of distances, you're less likely to hit your crit. Even if your cursor is over the head of that ad, you will still not hit crit, because accuracy is the governance stat for that. So not only do you need to be accurate, but you'll also get accuracy to kick in, and you're more likely to hit the critical hit of that ad. So accuracy is range. Don't think of it as accuracy. Think of it as range. Think of it as range for the bow. It's an easier way of explaining it. The more range your bow has, the better you're going to hit all your crits. This stat is very important, but also is another stat. There's only 2 stats at the most that you want to worry about. That's number 1, which is why I went with enhanced intrinsic accuracy. It also states I get extra accuracy at level 20. I get an extra minor stat boost. I don't know how much that is. I might be another plus 10. I'm not sure. My bow is only 16. But I'll get extra there. So again, the accuracy there. Stability, what does that do? It means it's less recoil. That does not matter on a bow, trust me. Don't spec for stability. Handling. This stat does kind of do something on a bow. It states the speed with which the weapon can be readied and aimed. So that's aim down sight speed. That's when you swap to the weapon. How snappy does it feel? The thing is, lightweight frame bows have a high handling stat. That's just how they are. Because think about it, it's something that's lighter weight. So your character can easily move that weapon than it would a higher precision frame impact bow. Okay? So handling's kind of some effect on it, but it's not, again, don't need to spec for it, because you're going to have the high stat there anyways. Reload speed, that's the knocking of the arrows. You don't need to worry about reload speed on this. Then you've got draw time. So draw time is a stat that you need to sort of look into, obviously. Now that's dictated by the string and the shaft. So these first 2 columns are important. Okay, they're like a barrel on a gun. Very important. So the string is going to dictate a lot of your stats. Now, there's different stats. Now I could go for the higher accuracy. So I could have went you know, a high, super high, nearly a Q redemption accuracy stat, but my draw time would then turn into more like another style type of bow, which we don't want that. I'll have to come out of that because I've changed the stats. But for now, I'm going with elastic string to get the 540 draw time. I recommend that you do that as well, but I might experiment with different sort of strings later on, like more of a higher accuracy type thing, because the perks later on will offset the draw time anyways, because I've got Archer's Tempo, which I'll get into. The second column I do know definitely best in slot is Fiberglass Arrow Shaft, because it's the highest accuracy that you can get in column 2. So I just go with that. You don't want to go with any other stat, especially for this bow. For this bow, high accuracy, you want it. You need to buff that accuracy. Right, so for the first column, I have enhanced Archer's Tempo, and then second column, enhanced Explosive Head. Just to explain what these two do. For the enhanced version, it states draw time substantially, that's the extra word, substantially decreases after every precision hit for a longer time, longer duration. So it's more forgiving Archer's Tempo on the enhanced version. The enhanced Explosive Head gives more accuracy. So I'm getting even more accuracy because of that. I don't know if that shows up in the stats or what, but I'm getting more accuracy. So that's exceptional, so we want that. But just to tell you the other perks, so there's Shoot to Loot, Rangefinder, Perpetual Motion, Stats for All, Kill and Wind. Second column also has Cornered, Adrenaline Junkie, One for All, Successful Warm-Up, Fresh. So just to explain why you don't want to go with any of these perks. Rangefinder, you don't want it, okay? No, it's a big no. Perpetual Motion's okay. I guess it would be fine, because even when you're walking, you're going to get that increased reload speed. But as I said, reload speed is different. Reload speed isn't the Archer's Tempo. They're two different things. So Perpetual Motion, no, not for a weapon like a bow, because generally you're standing still, okay, hitting a target. You're not running around so much. Kill and Wind, no, that's like, nope, you don't want that. Shoot to Loot is valuable, and I might at times go back to Shoot to Loot. It just depends. Shoot to Loot's very important, or can be, if you're like, it's very particular. Like if you're in a Grandmaster solo and you're posted up behind some rock, and you don't have much mobility, and you need that heavy brick, then you can shoot it. But it's too niche. Shoot to Loot's too niche. Archer's Tempo works all the time, no matter what you're doing. When you're hitting a crit on an enemy, you're going to get Archer's Tempo to proc all the time. You want a perk that procs all the time, not some of the time. And Shoot to Loot is specific on what you're exactly doing. You know, so for your first God Roll craft on this bow, you go with Archer's Tempo. You go with the safe bet. For column 2, successful warm-up is not needed. It is a waste because you've got Archer's Tempo. Fresh is a waste. You don't need it. You get plenty of super, especially when you're solo. You get tons of super energy. Fresh is a big waste. Adrenaline Junkie is a good perk, but not for this bow. You don't want to use it. Cornered, no, you don't need faster charge time because you've already got Archer's Tempo. One for All is decent, and I'll tell you why. There's also a perk called Stats for All, so you can go Stats for All, One for All, which would be a good bow. Because you shoot 3 separate targets, which in Grandmasters the adds are tanky, so you get the 3 shots, then you get your damage bonus for a couple of seconds. The thing is, you also get you'll get the Stats for All, you'll get increased, all your stats will be boosted. The thing is, it's not going to do extra damage, like, it's not going to do stagger damage to adds and area of effect damage. Explosive Head's going to work more often than One for All. You've got to shoot 3 adds. By the time I've shot 3 adds with Explosive Head, they're going to, you know, I'm killing more adds. I'm having to charge this One for All up all the time. It's good, don't get me wrong, but just not on a bow. If you have Head as an option, you go with Head. It's best in slot. And that's basically my take on the bow. There'll be footage of the bow in use on a champion. It was a master champion, so it's a 1580 power champion. I didn't even bother to infuse the bow up. It was 2 shot on the barrier's shield on master difficulty. It was on the moon. Now I know you might think, oh, it's an old activity, the nightmare hunts, whatever. No, they keep going up in power every season. I don't know why, but they do. But it's a good testing grounds for champions. So that's why I went in there and tested. On Grandmaster content, you'll probably 3-shot a barrier shield. It won't be a 2. I mean, it might be a 2 if you debuff them, but it'll be a 3 if you don't debuff them. That's my best guess on it. But hope you enjoy, and that was the view on that.